Hello and welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. We're taking a new and different path. We've got a green tea with us. We've got one of the things we're going to be looking at, or a new road, is those. I'm still looking for the actual prize in the bottom of my tea tin. Still haven't found one, but we're going to keep looking. The other unique aspect of today, or the new path we're taking today, we're going to be looking at some teas from eBay. Tea companies that are associated or based in places like Hong Kong, some mainland China as well, where you will be able to find some more teas that are advertised as more authentic, teas that are perhaps there are fewer middlemen between the actual tea grower and the retailer, as compared to some of your tea retailers, U.S. retailers online. So we're going to be looking at some of these teas today. I encourage you to join us for tastings. Again, right up above, a button. Click on the button that says Join a Tea Tasting. You'll get information about upcoming teas that we're going to be tasting together. You'll find out information about equipment that is useful. This is a good time to get into tea tasting. There's lots of teas out there. Spring harvest is coming out. You want to be able to get ready and get those teas, those fresh teas, and know how to prepare them so that you can appreciate them and share them with your friends. So we're going to get this tea going. We've got a standard of tea tasting equipment is your gaiwan, your bowl here, which is a Chinese style. We've got a Chinese style tea. We've got our water that's been brought to a low boil. I mean, what I mean by that, of course, is that the water has started to bubble up. It hasn't really gotten to a full roaring bubble. Now what I'm doing here, because these are larger leaves, I'm just showing you with a teaspoon just how much. You see a few leaves falling in, but what we're doing is we are getting, it's going to be about a teaspoon and a half. Actually, I'm going to give a pinch, just a few more leaves that you see right there. That should be enough, because this gaiwan is 4 to 5 ounces, somewhere in there, as far as the volume of water that it holds. So let us get this started. Our water, electric tea kettle is a very handy thing to have. The other useful item would be a water boiler, which allows you to, boil your water and then hold it at those set temperatures. Let's get this out of the way, and let's get the lid on this. So let's set this over to the side and let that steep for a while as we talk about this tea. This tea is from the Chinese Kung Fu Tea Art Store, a little bit of a lengthy name, and this is their CKFTAS. Okay, this is a green tea, as we said, from China, from Anhui Province, and it's actually from the Jinzhai area or district in Anhui Province. Okay. And of course, when we go through a tea tasting, we talk about the harvest. Sometimes when we're provided information, which the Kung Fu Tea Art Store does. This was a 2009 spring harvest. So we're looking at a tea that is close to, March, April is around the harvest time, so it's close to a year old. We'll see how well it's held up in that time period. 100 grams for $22.99. $23. Okay. So as we go through a tasting, we'll be looking at several things, of course, our dry leaf, wet leaf, and the liquor. So let's go ahead and just kind of dive into this. Open it up so we can stick our nose down and get a good whiff of these leaves. This is one of the best parts. This is one of the first things you need to do when you start, tasting teas, purchasing your teas. Smell them. Get your nose in there. Get a good sniff, because you're going to get some rich. With a good tea, you're going to get rich aromas. I'm getting things like there's a bit of a kind of a spinach in there, but it's a sweet type of leafy green type smell. I mean, you're getting some kind of sweet dandelion type smell. You're getting just a pinch of kind of chamomile in there with the spinach, dandelion, and finally a little bit of chamomile. Okay, Next thing we want to do, of course, is kind of look at these leaves. And as you do, you're going to notice that these are longer pieces than some of your other green teas. A little piece of leaf stuck to my finger. Larger pieces. We're talking about 1.5 to an inch, more than 1.5 inches actually. You're getting some nice blue-green colors off of these leaves. They're not showing a whole lot of age. Yet on the other hand, I'm certain that some aging has taken place. So you could expect these to be even more vibrant blue-green if you were to get a fresher spring harvest. Okay, these leaves have been curled from the outsides of the leaves inward, so it's kind of like rolling a scroll in on itself towards the center. Thicker pieces, and they feel sturdier. They feel like they're less delicate than, say, some of your finer tips of some leaves. Okay, so that really kind of covers what we've got in our guapian. Melon seed is the Chinese name. And these are standard looking leaves. These are actually pretty fresh looking, pretty substantial or solid. They don't look like they've been ground up, rolled around too roughly. They don't look like they look like they're good solid leaves, like they haven't been overcooked or anything, over steeped so that they've gotten a brown note to them. Good leaves. Next, go into our wet leaf. It's time to get out our towel so we can catch any of our drips here, and kind of our sample pouring. I hope you pour along with me, because what you're going to see is that we kind of angle our lid over to the side, index finger on top, middle finger and thumb on the rim of the bowl. You can use your back to your ring finger and pinky to kind of stabilize there, and you are going to pour just like this. And when you do it right, especially with this size of leaf, you're not going to get leaves that slip through. It's going to pour smoothly because the air is coming in through the top, flowing through the bottom quite smoothly. Okay, getting out those last few drops, because we are going to be sticking our nose in here, and those last few drops are the ones at the bottom closer to the leaves that really drawn out a lot of that flavor, so we don't want to lose those drops. Okay, if you were re-steeping, if you're going to use these leaves for multiple steeps, which for a lot of loose leaf teas I do recommend, you could leave just a few drops in there, because again, that's where the potency is, and that gives you a little bit more strength for that second cup. Let's talk about these wet leaves now. With a lot of green teas, you are getting that kind of beany type roasted smell, and that's from the roasting or the firing process, because there's heat put to this to stop the oxidation process. There's heat put to this to dry the leaves out, because if you've got too much moisture in leaves, they just won't preserve. So you do have that kind of beany note still present. Slight lima bean, mostly kind of a green bean smell. But what you're going to note about these leaves is that with the guapian, this LiuAnGuaPian, the melon seed name, you're getting some some long but narrow leaves here. And you're getting usually full size, full length, or at least 3/4 of the leaf there. And most of the time the leaves are intact, they're whole, or those sections are whole. But what we're seeing here, again, here's another nice one. Looks like the tip has come off and the stem end has come off, so you're left with the majority of the leaves. They are fairly soft. I mean, they're not thick, chewy type of leaves like you get with like a oolong tea, where those can be more mature leaves, especially the darker oolongs. So, and good bright colors, still vibrant, a deep, rich green coming off of there as well. Yeah, there's one. Here's one that looks like it got a little bruised up too much. Got a little oxidized. It's got a bit of a brownish color. I'm just going to throw that one in there for color. I would not say that's standard in this batch or standard for Liuanguapian. But setting that aside, we're going to go now and talk a little bit about our liquor, of course. Some would consider this a main event, but until you've really looked at the dry leaf and the wet leaf, you're not really getting much background on the liquor. So we note that there's a rich yellowish green, greenish yellow color here, as opposed to a more towards the yellow, duller, yellowish brown type colors that some aged or greens that have some age on them can have. So still bright, still good clarity or brightness there. We're going to slurp this tea. All right, I'm already getting this kind of smell that makes this, that I associate with a creamy feel in the mouth. So that's already present. We're going to slurp to try to get some air in. Okay, again, some of that dandelion types aroma coming out, or taste coming out. What else am I getting in there? Although this one does have some of the creaminess, not as much as I was expecting from the aroma. The astringency is I would say light to medium. I would say, or you could say lower medium on the astringency level. What else are we talking about? The bitterness, any kind of bitterness there. Again, when it's done with a light temperature, which is recommended, light water temperature, and a brief steeping, a minute or less, you're going to get a lot of these aromas coming out without much bitterness. If you steep it too long, get it too rich, the bitterness is on this. This does come out. The aftertaste does play on that kind of vegetable type sweet element, which is nice. Especially kind of gives you, there towards the end, just kind of relaxes your mouth, makes your tongue water a little bit for more. So that's a nice pleasant feel. Anything I left out? There is like we said, the creaminess. Yeah. If there was a vegetable aspect to this, it's closer to celery than spinach. That's something I forgot to note previously. And this carried on from more than one steeping, so that's a good note to say that this is something that you'll be able to get more than one steeping out of. So, looking at this tea as a whole, good vibrant leaves as far as the color and the aroma of the dry leaf. The wet leaf was what we kind of looked for. We had pretty good sized pieces there of the leaf, portions there. Our liquor was low on the astringency, low or none of the, well, very low or medium low on the bitterness of the cup here. The aftertaste did have those characteristic type of kind of sweet dandelion, celery, a little bit pinch of. I even got a little pinch of chamomile on previous tastings here on the liquor. So you put all that together. We gave this tea a 92. We would have liked to have seen just a little bit more of that creaminess that we smelled and we were expecting as I started to drink. And then a little bit more of the sweetness to come out, especially in the aftertaste, that kind of sweet feel that would have really made this pop. Considering this was tea harvested last year, in this last spring, you could expect that a 2010 harvest, which will be coming, if they're harvesting April-ish, you could start to look for this May, June. They'll have this on their website. That'd be something that you want to scoop up right there at the beginning, so it gets to you as fresh as possible, so you can appreciate the fullest capability of this tea and what it can offer. But check it out for yourself. Again, this was from Chinese Kung Fu Tea Art Store, and we looked at it here together on Walker Tea Review.